Hello, this is our video for our Krav Maga on 360-degree defense. So we're going to review block 1 through 8. And then I want you to do this along with me. If you have a partner, that's fantastic. We can do the attacks as well. So we're going to do number 1. And the attack is a overhand swing. So be as realistic as you can with the attack in an overhead manner. So we're going to keep our feet stationary. Feet are going to be shoulder width. Our hands are going to be in this defensive position. We're going to bend at the waist, and we're going to shoot the blade of the arm up and over our head, keeping our arm always at, 3 things you need to remember. Keeping our arms always at a 90-degree angle, blocking as close to your wrist without using the joint of your wrist, but making contact as close to the joint of the wrist of the attacker. Also keeping your weight into the block. You never want to lean away and make the block. You want to reach in and get as much weight behind that as you possibly can. Think about it like a linebacker making a block. You want to make sure they're leaning their weight into it. Or a Roman soldier with the shield. They want to push in as they're making that block. Same idea. Keeping that weight forward. We're going to bring that hand from the center position, and we're going to shoot it up over top of our head, looking underneath. And you can do that on the opposite side as well. And that is the number 1 defense for an overhead attack. And we're going to do number 2 defense, which is the same thing as an overhead attack, but it's coming slightly down on the angle. Again. Same idea. Bend at the waist, keep your weight in. Reach your block up on a 45-degree angle, keeping your head underneath. From the defensive position. Opposite side. I want you to do it at least 10 times each side. Next, we're going to go on to block number 3, which is defense from an outside swing or a haymaker coming around. Again, you want to be as realistic as possible if you're doing the attack without intentionally harming your partner. On this, we're not going to lean forward, but we're going to lean towards the attack, and we're going to shoot our hand from the inside out, keeping our chin behind the shoulder, making that 90-degree block. Other side. Now we're going to do block number 4, which is against into out swing, which is either shorter than the first one, or our reaction was delayed, and it's going to the body. So I want to think like the Pillsbury Doughboy, right? I want to crunch that hip without bringing my head down, because my elbow only covers so much. So by lifting my hip, I now have hip bone to elbow covering, nice and tight against the body. So my hands are out in this defensive position. Other side. Then on the side. Now we're going to move on to defense number 5. Number 5 is exactly like 3 and 4, same concept. It is a out to in swing, but it is low. Okay? So they're swinging in a lower position, or they're coming around in a stabbing motion. That hand is swinging from the outside in low. Maybe my hands are down in this position. I don't have time to reach, or they could be up. I'm going to bring the elbow out, and again, I'm going to lean out into that motion. Keep my fingertips pointing down, elbow as high as I can, making that block. Other side. From the side. Now we're going to move on to number 6. Number 6 is a upward stabbing motion coming up on a angle to the body. Even an uppercut, a big swinging uppercut, or a thrusting motion coming up on the side. Again, if you're being the attacker, try to be yourself doing the attack. Don't be a crash test dummy being demonstrated on. Be as realistic as possible without intentionally harming your partner. Bend at the waist. It is exactly the opposite of number 2, which was nice and high on that angle. We're going to do the same thing. Bang. Down in number 6. Bending at that waist. Arm is at a 90-degree angle. Other side. Moving on to number 7. Number 7 is defense against a straight up the middle thrusting motion. Again, it could be this large uppercut motion. So it's going to be exactly the opposite of number 1. I'm going to bend at the waist, putting my weight on it, and arm at a 90-degree angle, covering as much of my body as you can see. I'm behind that shield. Other side. From the side. Opposite side. Good. Moving on to number 8. Number 8 is a defense against a straight line attack. Okay? Again, if you're being the attacker, throw good straight line punches in order to help your partner relate it to real life as much as possible. Again, without intentionally hurting one another. Okay, so my hand is going to reach across my face and slightly forward at the same time. If you would look down at the top of my head, my hand is crossing that way. At the same time, because this is only 50% of the defense, I want to move my head to the opposite side of that hand. Notice I keep it no wider than the width of my body. I don't need to go way out here. I only need to get my head on the other side. Opposite side. From the side. Other side. Again, I want you to practice each side 10 times. If you can video yourself, send that to me. Let me see what you're looking like. Let me see what you're working with. If you have any questions, post them below. This is Sensei John saying, I'll see you later.